Welcome back to the Reality Kingdom. We put the real in reality or whatever. Period. I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. And as you see by the MFing title, ho, tonight, I just feel like this. Let's address this. Let's address this because you ask me this every podcast. Let's address it.
They're the kingdom, bitch.
Because the kingdom. But this is to me. Sometimes a hoe is a good thing. Sometimes a hoe is not even sometimes. I love hoes. I support black businesses. I support hoe businesses. Whatever you have to do in life to get by, you do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
Hey, do what you gotta do. Hey, do what you gotta do.
Hey,
doing what you doing, 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 what you
hey,
do. Hey, do what you gotta do. Hey, do what you gotta do. Oh my God, BB23 was
period.
Like, as far as entertainment that had nothing to do with the game, BB23 delivered, Henny.
Is it because you're black?
No, I love everyone in that cast.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
It's because I'm black.
But no, I feel like even objectively, they were always doing something. Remember they played Love Island one night, and then they had nightly. They would have nightly. What's that game called?
Werewolf. Lee. A lot of people hated that.
A lot of good.
You're saying.
But as far as the cast, them interacting with each other, we never saw a cast interact with each other on such a level throughout the season. I feel like that season had a lot of good elements. Like they gave us drama in certain instances. It gave us iconic strategy, and it gave us a really, really good cast.
You're giving the most unpopular opinion I've ever heard. I agree with you.
I feel like anyone who don't like BB23 is probably anti-black. No shade.
I agree with you. But
what do you mean you don't like? What do you not like about BB23? Quickly.
It was a steamroll. It was a steamroll, but
it was. I can't even get mad.
But
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say fuck it. I mean, you can call me biased, but I do feel like BB23 was just a great season based off the cast alone.
I know it's because they were black. For me, I'm not.
I don't only love the cookout. Because I live for DX. I love for.
But no, I'm gonna eat you up. I'm gonna eat it up. I'm gonna eat it up. So. So for me, at least the reason I think it's because they were black is because the energy of every cast depends on the central figure of that cast.
Right.
And because the central figure of that cast was a group of pretty good people who were all black, the energy of the house became a more positive environment, and it was black influenced. So all the singing around the house, all the yelling back at Big Brother when they would tell them to clean up, like, you know, it was a lot of things that it's like I could relate to more. In these seasons where it's like, you know, somebody else is running the show, somebody, you know, a little less dark. I get a little, you know, the energy changes. But anyways.
I feel that because I feel like I kind of got the sense of that a little bit when Sari and Jared was running the game in 25.
Mm-hmm. Period. So, y'all see the title today. Oh, before we get into that, shout out to the cookout. The cookout is going to be doing on Heavy Crown Network.
Check it out, Mama.
Check out on Sunday, Heavy Crown Network. The cookout is going live. They're going to be talking, doing whatever they're doing over there. Go check that out. We support them. Love them. Big hearts. Big ups to them. Big Brother is in.
I did it.
You ate. Big Brother is in 9 days.
9 days?
From the day we're posting this video. It is 9 days from here.
Wow, girl.
And the cast reveal should be in exactly 7 days, according to when the last two cast reveals were.
Which was like 2 days before the actual premiere.
Which was 2 days before.
Are annoying.
So
I want this cast because I mean this preseason
we might get it earlier.
Dead a little bit. You mentioned this last time, like because of the 25th season, such a milestone. The promo for last season was huge, mama. Like it was all over the place. And this year it's crickets, especially since they've been doing the cast so closer to the premiere. So I just like that's so boring. Like I just wish there was a little bit more hype around it. We got a new logo.
We got a new logo with the camera as the O in brother. I think it's very cute.
I think it's cute. I think it's cute.
I think it's very cute. I like it. I wonder, people were speculating. They were like, this logo feels more original to what originally Big Brother gave, like OG of it all. They said this feels a little more OG. It doesn't feel modern. You know how because the recent logos have been more modernized, more simple, more screwed together. This one has the camera in it. It's going back
I
to
just
the.
wouldn't say
They're all
OG because the
being.
OG was the eye. I mean, we just did.
No, 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 no. You think it too close. They're saying this feeling of this logo is giving more of the feeling of OG Big Brother. They're focusing more on the 500 cameras and 30 microphones and da, da, da. They haven't really been focusing on that.
I like that the O is a camera. That's cute.
So I think that's and it's the what's it called? The font is way more old school font. The
you know what? Maybe Big Brother 1. I think like the very first Big Brother, that little blue oval, which is Big Brother in it, I guess.
Yes. It just I think I kind of agree. I agree that the font is giving the font and the design of it isn't as modernized as this new age font. Because this new age font is like very, techie and it's just more modernized. You could tell they like changing with the times. It's more about the design of it. But that new logo, it's not about the design. It's really just Big Brother. There's no little square coming out at you. It's no colors on it like it was last season. It's nothing popping out. It's very, very simple. Very simple. It's just the logo. It's just the name. No design, no picture, no colors, nothing. So I see what they were.
If you haven't seen a picture of it, Julie Chen posted it on her Twitter and probably Instagram too.
And it's on the memory wall. It's on the memory wall on that picture. Yeah, that's the picture she posted. But yeah, it's just very simple. It doesn't have anything to it, and I feel like that's what some of the girls were saying. I kind of agree. I do feel like it's more of a not even classic to Big Brother. It's just classic in general. The logo just doesn't look modern. It looks more.
Well, it's something new. And I love something new. Definitely. I feel like, we've said previously too, I'm ready for them to kind of settle into this new era, and I feel like they haven't really done that yet. But I'm really excited for this season. I have a good feeling about it. I think it's going to be great. I'm just ready for them to drop this cast. I feel like the only inkling I got of like pre-season news, I saw a rumor going around. There was like, oh, it may not be live because we all know it's going to be a 2-night premiere. Mm-hmm. Now, Julie Chen, when she confirmed that the season was coming back, she said, "See you live on Big Brother." I think she said
on the premiere day. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's live because, of course, if they move in earlier and it's not live, we will not be able to see the first week. I really want that. I'm spoiled. I hope they keep giving it to us. Big Brother rarely gives us anything we want. Please keep First Day live. Please. I'm begging you. It's just so much better. Personally, I feel like it's still going to be live. I know like someone posted the DVR listing and it doesn't say live there, but apparently it did the same thing last year and it was live last year. So that's not really too big of a change, but we really just got to wait and see. But I feel like it still begs the question, like, if it is live, how are they going to do it with a 2-night premiere?
Yeah.
Are we going to get the HOH in that first night and then the next night nominations? Or are they going to split them in half? I feel like I'm leaning towards splitting in half. They've done it before. It will work in a 2-night premiere. But, I also feel like that's what scares me. Like, maybe it won't be first night live feeds because if it's 2 nights, it's like, well, it'll be easier just to film the whole first week. And then we have the first evictee on Thursday. But hopefully we just stick with the first night live feeds.
Yeah. I feel like it's like you said, it's going to be hard with the 2-night premiere to see how they're going to do it live because I would assume they would want. It's a 2-night premiere, but are both nights live or is it just the premiere night live? That's another question. But I would assume both nights would be live. So that makes me feel like
if they go in that day live, the next night would have to be live because there's nothing we filmed. But so that's what makes me feel like it has to be half and half. But even if it's half and half, and this may be two. What is it? Vegas can't be choosers. Are they gonna give us night 1 live feeds that night with half the cast? Are we gonna see 8 people on the first night live feeds?
And I would love that too. I would love that. That would be very interesting. But I don't love when they do half and half. I kind of like when they all come in at the same time. I don't think it affects much at all. But I just like the idea of we're all here, everybody equally. Go talk to everybody. I'm not a biggest fan of 8 of y'all here and then 8 of y'all there, but I don't know how they could do it.
The next day they come in, or did they?
Allegedly, from my memory, BB17, I think they did, but I'm not 100%.
I want to say BB16 too, honestly. So they
around that time.
It could affect some things, especially because even with those seasons, that's when they moved in a week before. So whoever became HOH that week, they were HOH for 2 weeks. So regardless of what could have been started because they split them up. It never really went anywhere because one person's in power for that long. If they do it this time, they split it up. If you're in that first group and you were in the house all night and one of y'all went HOH, why would you not protect those 7 people? Like, I can definitely see some of these developments starting to really affect if they split them up, and it will be really beneficial for that first group. I feel like that's the thing.
That's why I don't like it.
Because if they bring in all 16, what they've done for these 2 post-COVID seasons, they bring them all in. They play a competition and they figure out an HOH based off this like eliminator situation. If they do something like that in the first episode, we'll know the first HOH. So will we just get noms on Thursday? I mean,
they don't have to do
live nominations. Like
they didn't do they didn't do HOH in the premiere last year, so they don't have to do HOH. They could just do nominations.
I thought we knew Daniel won. Oh,
Riley won the first HOH last year, and we didn't know. It was just a nomination challenge, so they could do a nomination challenge, which I would hate, or a safety challenge. Safety challenge would be better for me if they all play and like 3 people get safety the first, or 4 people get safety the first night, and then the second night it's a live HOH competition. But it's like, what else would you be showing for the rest of that live
now
hour?
I'm getting more scared because I'm like, even if I think it has to be half and half. I think it has to be half and half because they have nothing to show. If it's going to be live, because if it's pre-recorded, none of this matters. They'll have filler for everything. But if it is live, first night live feeds, it has to be split because even if we get all 16 on Wednesday, there's nothing to show on Thursday. Even if we have a live HOH competition, there's nothing to show. So maybe it's just more elaborate competitions. Like you're right, a nomination ceremony on Monday, and then Thursday it's some eviction ceremony where they have to do challenges. I don't know. Like, it's gonna be probably something we've never seen before. Now that I'm thinking about it.
It probably is. So that'll be interesting. I'm just not the biggest fan of them moving in together. It's not that bad. It's not that big of a thing. It's not that big of a deal.
If they move in early, we're getting the cast next week because they're already in the house.
I don't think I doubt that they're moving in early. I don't think they're moving in early. I think they would just move in. I think it is a live premiere. I do think it's a live premiere. It's just depending on what is that second day gonna be. That'll be very interesting. We'll have to see. And it wouldn't make sense for noms because then on Sunday, which I'm going to show. So it has to be some type of twist. It has to be something. Child, I guess we'll see.
And it works because you can feel it. You can feel most of the episode with the little, hi, I'm such and such. Yeah. And then, and then the challenge and then whatever else you want to show. Like you can feel that out. But if you introduce all 16, there's absolutely almost nothing to show in the Thursday episode.
Yeah. It just since they've stopped doing half and half, it just made me think like, what would be the point of going back to that? Like, unless it's a part of the twist, unless it's like y'all are a team. It's a team. You're a whole team and you're a whole team.
Or bring back Battle of the Block.
They would not do that. But I mean, it could be something similar, like all this entire group and then this other entire group.
Pharaoh. Because what has been
I'm here.
It ain't been like the overarching rumor, but people have said favorites as favorites. And if they doing half and half,
they claim
that would really work.
Apparently, Paramount confirmed it's all newbies. Allegedly.
I don't care about none of that. Okay, we're being delusional.
All liars.
We're being delusional, guys.
Now, I think that would make the 2-night premiere make sense. That was like what I'm thinking in the back of my head, but in the back of my head, I'm like, they've already confirmed just all newbies. And I know that some of the people who I would expect to come back are going to be live on Sunday talking with the rest of the cookout. So I don't think it's going to be
that's just the Sunday. They'll go into the 17th, mama.
But it's like you have to be sequestered.
I know.
So it's it's probably not that. Or it better not be with them not in sequester.
If too many people I know, that should be a sequester right now.
Literally. So I think it's all newbies, and it's probably just going to be half and half, and it's probably going to be a part of the twist. I don't think I like that.
It needs to be half and half at least because I don't mind. Like if it's half and half, and we don't get that first night because only 8 people in there, fine, fuck it. But I do not want to live in a world where we miss out on the first week again. I just think that it takes so much development away from the show. Like I love now that in this era that the HOH isn't set up so well because they've been HOH for damn near 30 days. You know, the fact that HOH is only a set 7 to maybe 8 days, I feel like it makes the game go like that. Because I didn't realize this, but truly these people are just sitting in the house. Once they go in a week earlier, they are just sitting there.
Yeah.
The first person doesn't go home into day 14, maybe even longer depending on the season. So that is what causes these majority alliances to get together and run the game for like half the season, because they've sat in these groups and developed this relationship for weeks at this point. Like, I remember I used to be so confused as to why the feeds would come on and all of this shit is so confusing, because they've done nothing but sit there and talk with the feeds off, mind you, and they know they're off. So they've been able to really, really, really connect. So I think it's just been a huge shift in how they're able to play the game, and I hope it stays. I hope they're smart enough to know that we want it, and we need it.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're moving in early. I really don't. I think it's gonna be a lot of moving how it's been, because they haven't had any inclination. Like, there's not been any indication of them moving in early at all. Like, that's not been a thing. That's not been said. I haven't seen anything about it. Julie seems to think it's gonna be live, so I would assume it's live. So I'm pretty sure the half and half is probably the most likely thing, to be honest, which is good.
Teams would be fun. They haven't done teams like that.
Like 2 teams. I would hate it.
I would hate it.
I hate the 4 teams. Never been a fan.
Actually love
I only like it on 11.
I love team. Every team season I've enjoyed to a certain extent. 11, 14, 18, 23. Some good seasons.
It's not for me. Oh, it's not for me. I'm just tired. I think I'm tired of it, because I did like it in 11. It was fine in 11 and it was fine in 18. By 23, I was like, okay, y'all done did this 4 times before. What I don't like about it is I feel like they don't come up with any other twists. Like, all you can come up with is putting people in groups.
Randomly, just out of, if it is half and half, that's where they need to repeat a cast twist, because y'all repeat all these twists. But y'all
cast twist would be nice.
Imagine the first 8 come in, the next 8 come in, bitch, all the relatives.
Ooh,
all the exes.
They need to bring back a cast twist. They haven't done a cast twist since the origin of Big Brother. Like, they haven't done it in 20 plus years. Like, so that would be nice.
27 rivals. I don't know. Randomly. Camp.
Something.
Camp it up.
Something. They don't want to be camp no more, but maybe they are. We're gonna see.
25? What year are we in? 4.
So, yes, we will be here for both the 2-night premieres next week from when we post this. So get into that for sure. And we're going to be here for the cast reveal as well. So definitely get into that for sure as well. Boom. Now, as you see by the title, today we will be ranking. We chose 26 notable, some infamous, some just famous.
Some just 2 people together.
Some just 2 people. We've chose 26 of some of the ones we were thinking of in celebration of Big Brother 26 to discuss and rank tonight. Now, before we get into it, if we go through this list and you're like, ooh, they're too high. Ooh, they're too low. Ooh, they should have been here. You just gonna have to comment it, because, baby, this is our list. Also, if you notice, dang, my favorite duo wasn't here. Comment who your favorite duo is, who we missed, because there were like some other options, I guess.
Right.
But for us, we was like, I mean, these are the options we came up with.
Right.
So yeah, just comment it. Tell us.
Let us know.
Because we can't go back in the past. It's too late. So there's that. But Lee, let's get into it. Let's get into it. We have, like I said, 26 different duos. So your fave should come up. If it don't, child, you got to get a new fave. Clearly your fave's not that girl. Like, I'm sorry.
Now we're keeping the racist here. Oop.
I had no choice. See, okay, I didn't tell Lee. I was going to tell her.
It's going to be bad.
I didn't have the racist tier here. And then I was looking through some of these duos, and I was like, there's nowhere else to put you. Or we could put you in Chop. Why does that say new? It still say Chop. We could put you in Chop, and I didn't feel like it was worthy of Chop. I feel like it was worthy of
period.
So there's the boom. Let's start off at the beginning of time. Beginning of time is crazy.
The beginning of time is wild.
The first duo I have is Nicole and Hardy.
Now, we just got into Nicole and Hardy in BB2. I enjoyed the duo. I think both of them. You can just put it in the mirror right now while we discuss.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the mirror right now.
I enjoyed both of them. I feel like both of them had a lot of moments where they would be really, really self-righteous in the game, kind of hypocritical. very much like, oh, I'm just this saint, I'm a good person, and you guys are evil. And interesting enough, they became just as evil to America as they claimed other people were. America hated both of them by the end. They didn't want either one to win. But I kind of love that they really stuck it out. You know, they both made it towards, I think they both were in top 5, right?
Top 4.
Top 4. It was really just one competition off that kind of separated them, but they definitely could have been the top 2. And maybe that's would have been the best bet for Nicole to win. I feel like overall, I love Nicole, but I hated Hardy in this rewatch. I did. There's nothing good about him but the body yaddy.
And the body yaddy is T, and the face.
Now, the body is T, and the face is T, but the personality is ass. I feel like Hardy is the type of man that will have you barefoot and pregnant in the street crying over him. For real.
Damn. And I would be crying.
And I would do it. I would do it. But I don't know. Nicole, she puts it in camp for me. It would have been Mother if it was a badder bitch. But Hardy is fighting to stay in mid. But Nicole is that much of a mother that I think it has to be camp.
I agree. And also a part of this, because let's get into like kind of what we're or at least what I'm thinking with the ratings, because I know some of y'all gonna be like, hold on, because why they wasn't da-da-da-da. What I'm thinking is your impact on the show as a whole, your iconicness as a whole, and then of course my personal taste about you. I agree. First of all, this is the first duo to run the game. Before Danielle and Jason, before Allison and June, before Derek and Cody, whoever you could think of, this was the first ever duo to run the game of Big Brother. And because of that, the impact is there, baby. They're on the first season, and they ran the first season, specifically Nicole. So I agree with Camp, mostly because of Nicole. Hardy would have drug it down. And honestly, I don't love Hardy's personality, but I don't have in the grand scheme of all of Big Brother and every Big Brother player ever, he's probably not as far down on the hate list as he could be, because there's literal racists on this show. Millions, thousands of not thousands, but there's a lot of racists on this show. So in the grand scheme of all of Big Brother, I don't hate Hardy that much in comparison to some of the people I actually hate. So I feel like it's fine with Camp.
Yeah, no,
because if he was actually a terrible, well, he's not the best, but if he was like terrible and racist and terrible, they wouldn't be able to make it to Camp. They wouldn't have made it. But because of that, I think they make it to Camp. I agree with Camp. Boom. Very fun, very iconic. Next we have girl, and we just got done. Oh, for these first two, check out our BB Rewind series if you haven't checked it out. We did a whole rewatch of Big Brother 2, covered everything that happened. We did a whole rewatch of Big Brother 3, plus the live feed archives, covered everything that just happened. Go watch all that shit. Next is Jason and Danielle, The Secret Alliance.
Right. So we just covered this, and if you watched BB Rewind with us, we were not praising Jason as much as some people would expect. No shade. It's just that, we watched the episodes, we read the archives, and, the activeness in Jason's gameplay was not as much as I had been told. But in general, definitely by the end of it, I saw the benefit of the Secret Alliance. I think that they were a strong duo. They truly had loyalty to each other at the end of the day. And it also birthed a strategy that people try to replicate season after season going forward. So I feel like for impact, for half of them being my literal mama, Danielle Reyes birthed me. She held me for 9 months and had me on March 5th, 1999. So that is my mother. And I think that she has to be mother based on that.
Mother. It's definitely mother. The impact, like you said, the impact they have had on the game, whether we rewatch and feel like Danielle was a better duo with Lisa, Marcella, whatever the fuck we feel, doesn't matter. The impact that Danielle and Jason, the Secret Alliance, has had on this game as a whole, creating this idea of a Secret Alliance, executing it all the way to the end, that it's untouchable. Everyone knows them. Everyone knows them as #the duo. We would be lying to not put them in mothers. They are mothers. We know about them without even having seen their full season, before we even saw their full season.
Icons.
We knew about Jason before seeing the full season. So it's like there's nothing I could do.
And then together they made another iconic move. Not only did they birth the strategy of the Secret Alliance, they also helped set the precedence that, baby, if you win the veto, you better use it on yourself. Because they sat up there and they evicted Marcellus when he did not use the veto on himself after working with him the entire fucking season. One of the biggest blindside, the first secret duo. I mean, they just did so many things as players in this game. Also, the first two people to not be nominated until they had to be in
the
final
entire
3.
game. And
They went the entire game unnominated until top 3. Both of them.
Both of them. And Danielle set the precedent of what a Big Brother player should be. Like, she's the stepping stones, she's the blueprint, she's the pink print, the purple print, the mother print of what to do as a Big Brother player. So on that alone, we have no choice.
We have no choice.
Now, all these mothers at the beginning, because the next one,
I'm just gonna
have to put them straight in mother. Allison and June.
Oh, Allison and June.
Now, this was an unlikely duo because they weren't a duo for the beginning of the game. And I will say these other two duos were duos the entire game, damn near. Allison and June, they started off playing the game separately. They literally had the same strategy. And then towards the end, of course, they had to they rekindled, they locked in, and they made it to final 2 together as a duo after deciding that they need to link up and beast it. And honestly, that story alone, in my opinion, is iconic. Like the fact that they weren't friends, they didn't even like each other, they hated each other, they weren't working in tandem, and they equally decided the best thing for both of our games is to link up and make it to final 2, and then they did. It's just a success story. Also, another thing, they're the first duo who made final 2. I feel like if you're a duo and you made final 2, it's gonna give you some props. So that's very iconic as well. Two mothers, both made final 2. I think the only difference between them and Jason and Danielle is like the impact Jason and Danielle has. It transcends lifetimes. And June and Allison in their own duo, right? They're probably one of the most iconic duos. In my opinion, I would personally choose them as one of my most favorite iconic duos because of the capabilities of both of them together. And like we said with Jason, it was low-key like, but when it comes to all of the things, all of the categories we're considering, Jason and Danielle, the impact.
The only thing that's I'm sorry to any June and Allison fans out there. The only thing keeping Danielle above them for me is because she's Danielle. So y'all gonna have
and there's nothing we can do about
it. Y'all got to be mad. I'm sorry.
Y'all just gonna have to be mad.
But no, truthfully, what you said too about them individually. I mean, speaking of Allison, the only person in that season to get veto used on them, and it happened twice. Yeah. Iconic on its own. And then same with June. I mean, she's known for perfecting the floater strategy, but Allison had also done that well that season as well. Both of them are incredible floaters, and it takes a lot of self-awareness to realize that you need someone in the game that you may not even necessarily like. Like we were just speaking about in BB3, how maybe Danielle probably should have went to the end with Marcellus because that's the best person that you can win against. Realizing that this person is the best bet for you to win the game, even though you're not working together in the slightest, is so smart. And I wish it was something that people did in modern day Big Brother. I remember I was watching BB25. I was like, why is Blue in America not linking up? You know, this should be a link up. Both of y'all are people that people are not looking at as someone who could probably win this game. If y'all link up, then y'all are in the end together and they have to choose one of y'all. Like that is the mindset behind it. We got to choose one of y'all. Exactly. I remember because I've watched 4 and I've seen like certain clips or whatever like that. There were a lot of talks of like, we don't want June or Allison to win. So it's like, we're going to link up and now you got to choose one. And this is an iconic duo for sure. I can't wait to get into BB4 Rewind, y'all. Oh, that's going to be good.
Coming up soon, ho. So there's that. Next we have, they look good, I fear. Janelle and Kaser.
What's the song?
What up, Kaser?
What up, Kaser?
That's so cute. So Janelle and Kaser, their origin, of course, starts in Big Brother 6, where it was literally a duo season. How iconic alone. The origin of the story alone is T, because they were in a duo season.
For BB26, hello.
Look,
I just said it. Imagine if the first 8 move in, and then the second 8 is their duo.
That would be so
BB26, BB6. Hello.
They should do it. They both lost their duos, and then they linked up, of course, and then they played Big Brother 7 together, and then they played Big Brother 22 together. Both played 2. They played 2. They're the only people who played both All-Star seasons, and they played together 3 times in a row. all of that alone, it's like, well, shit, y'all are the duo of the duos. Like,
Yeah.
ain't no other duo doing in
And
like
work
y'all are
together
duoing.
every single
And work
motherfucking
together
time.
every single time and lost every
Ride
single
or
time.
die, loyal to the motherfucking soil. I truly enjoy them as a duo. The way they came together after they both lost their duos back to back is insane. You would think they were the duo of the season. Like, it's such a rootable pair, and it's such like similar to like Jason Danielle, like a kind of oddball duo. Like, you know, you got Janelle, she's like a young blonde, and then Kaser, he's this Muslim man with so much culture. You just wouldn't think that they would have connections, really. And it's so interesting to see them come together and just be this iconic duo. Like, I love them so much. I would argue mother. For impact.
It's not argument. It has to be mother. The impact they have
to be mother.
They played together 3 times. That alone honestly makes it like, well, shit. Like, and when it comes, another thing I'm thinking about when it comes to these duos, because I don't know where I'm gonna put them, but what I'm thinking about when it comes to the duos as well is how much of a duo are y'all actually? Because there's some of these duos who they have restraining orders. No shit.
Oh my god.
Or even in the season, it's like y'all didn't even work in tandem. Y'all didn't work together. Y'all just kind of ended up together at the end. It's so many duos that it's like you don't really embody duo. And a part of me wants to put Janelle and Kaser maybe even above Allison and June because they've been a duo they're a duo in life. It's not just in the game. They're still friends outside of the game. They played 3 times together. They worked together the whole time. Allison and June, they worked together for 4 weeks, and then, you know, they stopped being friends. And they're iconic still. But I think, I don't know. I'm kind of, dang. Like, when it comes to what a dynamic duo. When it comes to
it don't get more dynamic than not even liking each other.
Now, that is true.
It don't, like, that's dynamic as hell. I'm sorry.
Now, that is true. And I'm going to stick beside that as well. So I'm fine with this. But Kaser and Janelle, definitely mothers. Icons. Ooh. And when we talk about infamous, next we have Mike and Will. Hashtag Chilltown. Hashtag Chilltown. So now, if you don't know, you should know now because we talk about it all the time.
And that's the thing.
If you don't know any other duo in Big Brother, you know Chill. First of all, they have a name, and you know them by the name. You know Janelle and a lot of people know Danielle and Jason as Danielle and Jason. Some people don't even know they're called the Secret Alliance. You know Chilltown is called Chilltown.
Pharaoh. I fear they gotta be mother.
I fear they have to be mother.
They have to be mother. Not above any of the actual mothers, but they have to be.
They have to be mother because the impact they've had on. First of all, everyone wants to be them. Every duo from the point
especially
that they
male duos
from BB7 on, every duo wants to be them. They want to replicate what they did, even on Canada Ho. It's like they have an impact that lasted. They created the concept of a strategic duo in the rest of Big Brother after BB7. After BB7 happened, everyone wanted to replicate what they did in BB7 and how they ran that season. They ran another thing, like we said about Nicole and Hardy, and we said about Danielle and Jason. If you run a whole season as a duo, girl, you're automatically camper mother, in my opinion, honestly. So I agree, it got to be mother. And honestly, it's like I don't know where to put them either because their impact.
I don't like Mike enough. I'm sorry. This is what
I actually don't like Mike at all.
And let's get some of that. Let's get some of that real world tea. So right now, this is the first duo who is not cool at all anymore. So if you don't know the tea, let's get messy real quick. So apparently, of course, Mike, he dealt with substance abuse and all those other things after Big Brother. But they contacted Mike to be on the Amazing Race season where they had invited all of the celebrity people and they wanted Mike and Will. Of course, Will was not going back on TV. He had a really successful job. They're not paying enough for him. Be for real. So Mike contacted Will and was like, what's up? Like, let's go on, please. Let's do this. You know, Mike, he's in foreclosure. He's in debt. He's broke. He needs more money for you know, he needs to do some things. So he was like, Will, let's do this. I need this. And Will was like, well, no, I got things going on. This sent Mike over the edge. He was emailing him pictures of his daughter at the school, texting him back to back to back, just full on went crazy. We'll have to get a whole restraining order on this man. Google it, look it up. God might be fucking up some of the details, but that's the general story. Anyways, they don't fuck with each other.
It's a big beef between me and you.
It's a big beef. Mike has really, really went downhill as a person, which is why I don't know why he was brought into All Stars. I would much prefer Lisa and All Stars over Mike.
He's only in All Stars because Will required that he was in All Stars, which is why it's like you still asking him this stuff when he already did that for you. He got you $1 million, baby. You need to go ahead and let him.
Literally got 500,000.
500,000. My bad.
That probably was gone in a year.
In a day, baby.
He snorted all of that up.
Oh.
Child.
And so because of that, bottom mother for sure. I agree. Next we have an unlikely duo. Another one. Eric and Jessica. Now,
okay.
I
haven't gotten into 8 like
some
that.
of the girls haven't gotten into 8 like that. Let me tell you the story. This is the original America and Corey, honestly.
Really?
And even no shade to the fans, no shade to the America Corey fans, but the better version of America Corey. If I had to say, love them.
Well, Jessica was winning H. They was going like back to back.
That's what I mean. Like they were impacting shit. But essentially, in Big Brother 25, we had the structure, and then Corey and America, they upended that shit. They were like the antithesis to like the structure of the season. And then in this season, it was basically the same thing. We had Dick and Danielle running the shit, and then Eric and Jessica were the only other option for a while on to what could change or who could upend it or who could change it or whatever. And they did some work in doing that. They did nominate both of them hoes. So they had impact in that way. And then also them being a showmance. This is the first showmance on the list. Them being a showmance, I feel like showmance is either you could be a terrible showmance as a together, or you could be a really good, positive, rootable showmance. These are just probably the most rootable people of that season, especially if you don't like Dick and Danielle. And then their story, him being the nerd, her being the very pretty blonde person, I think that was very cool as well. I just don't think their impact is enough to put them at camp or mother, but I would just keep them at mid for me. Okay. Like they're mid. Great story, beautiful gowns. I haven't
heard much about Jessica, that much about her. Like I said, I'm excited to keep doing this BB Rewind.
An icon
into these people, because I watched a lot of like those little BB documentaries on YouTube, and I haven't even seen much about them in it. So it's like
icons.
I'm interested to see what it's going to give, but I do have something interesting because I pulled up the Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing in week 6, Jessica nominated Danielle and Dick.
Icons.
And neither one of them went home.
Icons.
So what's Tia?
So I can tell you a little bit because we'll eventually get that BB Rewind, but that's some years far from now. So essentially, Jessica and Eric were in the same alliance as Dick and Danielle. Dick and Danielle flipped on that alliance, and Erica and Jessica were like, "We're putting y'all ass up." After that, all 4 of them ended up rekindling and recreating another alliance. So then they started working.
Her very next HOH, like back to back, and don't put up neither one of them.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, baby, you should have got a Donato that second time, mama.
And should have, but it's a lot.
Oh, and then she went home next. Oh,
it's a lot to it though because
they didn't even save her.
Right.
Girl, they let the Donatos play in their face.
No, I'm trying to tell you. Listen, the issue was Eric was America's player. So Eric has to convince Jessica not to nom Dick and Danielle. You have to convince Jessica to not vote to evict them. You have to convince Jessica to work with them. They gave him a task and they were like, make an alliance with Dick and Danielle. Then he had to make an alliance with Dick and Danielle and Jessica. So even
America though hilarious for that. Oh,
the entire time, it really shouldn't have even been an option. Big Brother making an option is crazy. But like literally, like the issue was the issue because they were on the right track. But Eric is literally having to convince her not to do it, and that's her duo.
And
so
he couldn't just be like, "Fuck what America want. I'm gonna do what I want." Because I was like,
apparently it was against like the rule, his contract. Like he signed up. I don't know what the consequence would be, but it was against his contract. He signed up to do it, so I guess he just could not do it. It wasn't like Dan, where it's like you could choose to do the task or you won't get the money. It was like he came in the house knowing he was that. And that was his role for the entire game, and he had to like sign a contract.
Because it's like
I just would have never signed that
got casted to be that. Like if he didn't say yes to that, would he not even get casted?
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have been. They probably just would have casted someone else to do it. He was probably like one of the last people who was going to be on the cast. They were like, "We'll put him on if he gonna do this." And if he would have said no, I don't think they would have put him on, honestly. But it sucks because he is like regarded as one of the more strategic players ever, honestly. And it's hard because the way that season went, he was forced to do what America wanted. So it's like, we'll never really know. But yeah, very cute. Next is the infamous bitch, Dick and Danielle. Danielle, y'all don't send this to her because she's gonna be mad to even be said in the same sentence with this man.
Honestly,
Dick
this
and
is crazy.
Danielle, the
I've watched a
mother,
lot of
the father-daughter duo.
I've watched a lot of like little slight documentaries and things of what their dynamic is, and it's pretty chaotic. I think similar to June and Allison, I love that like they didn't necessarily fuck with each other, but they were able to run an entire season. Do you think that even with the America's player interference that they could have been top two, or you think they definitely both of them, neither one of them would have been top two if it wasn't for Erica and America?
We'll truly never know. But a lot of people try to discredit Dick because of that, but it's hard. We'll get more into it whenever we do the BB Rewind. But the reason Dick and Danielle flipped on the alliance that arguably Dick was running, no shade, was because a banner flew over the house that said Eric is lying. And so Dick was like, oh, I have to take out Eric. He's lying. He's probably like plotting against the alliance. So it's like they only win against the alliance because of an outside source, and because the reason that banner flew over is because Eric was America's player. So because of America's player was why they flipped on the alliance, and that ruined their position in the game. But then on the flip side, you could say the only reason Eric was working with them is because he was told to by America. So it's like you never really know.
It's just way too much interference.
It's way too much interference on both ends. I think a lot of people try to say they were only helped by it, and I wouldn't say that. They were clearly hurt by the fact that they turned on their whole alliance because of this information they got, which wasn't accurate. So it's like it's very wishy-washy. I don't know, but they made final two, and that's like I said with June and Allison making final two. That's crazy. Yeah. Y'all were related. Bitch.
Both of them this season, like I just said about Marcella setting the precedence, both of them in situations where they had the veto used it on the other, like, and then stayed. Like moments like that, it's like, oh, that's kind of nasty. Yeah. I can't wait to get into the rewind to see like the intricacies on what America affected and how the votes would have stacked up to see if they would have stayed in the House. So that's going to be fun. But it seems like still, I mean, it feels like an impressive feat that they are father and daughter and made it to final two. They knew, everyone in the house knew they were working together, and they still allowed them to get that far without targeting them. Even had nominated them a few times and didn't get the other one out. So I feel like, I mean, that's still pretty impressive in a way, and I like that they are low-key volatile towards each other. Like,
talk about dynamic. You want to talk about dynamic? You don't get no more dynamic.
That they're arguing, but then it's also kind of this story of a father trying to protect his daughter, and his daughter, like, girl, honestly, it could be a whole Lifetime movie. No,
the story of Big Brother 8 is so honestly so interesting. I hate to say it because it's these people's real lives, but it's very interesting to see
to this day, which is unfortunate.
It's very interesting to see how Dick is trying to win back the love of his daughter, and how Danielle is like really not having it. And then I hate to say it for Danielle, sorry Danny, but the way that they're mirrors of each other and very similar in a lot of ways, and you get to see it put in your face on TV, it's like, bitch, y'all are the same person. That's why y'all are arguing. It's just a very interesting story, very interesting dynamic. And the fact that they succeed when they play Big Brother is also so iconic because they hate each other outside the house. And then they came back in 13. And in 13, they were starting off that first week very similar to this, like, we're locked in. Like we don't literally have not talked since we left this house, but right when we got back in the house, we're back locked in. Danny went over here and did this. Dick went over here and did this, and they started to get to work. And it's like they were probably going to make it to final two again, or the end game again, the way they were playing Big Brother 13. So definitely mother for me. I would definitely put above Mike and Will.
I'm fine with that.
And I would probably just leave it there. Super dynamic.
Unpopular. The girls don't like.
The girls don't like Dick, and Dick.
I mean, he got us blocked, so he don't
Dick.
like us.
Dick is a very terrible human being.
Dick got everybody blocked.
Danny can be very
he's such an angry old man, ain't he?
He's very angry.
Seems so angry and mad.
He is. So I do understand that. Very terrible person, similar to Mike. Terrible person as well. But that's why they're at the bottom of it. That's the thing. Both of these duos could be at the top of Mother if they didn't include terrible human beings in them. Yeah. So
because Danny was a slight queen this season. She had 6 vetoes, huh?
No, that was slight. Fuck a slight. That was my mama. That was a mother. And then she was that was my mama. And then she was Mother in Big Brother 13. And then she was Danny Briones in Big Brother.
We stand Danielle Donato. We don't know Danny Briones.
Hold on, Lee. I'm not gonna lie. I like Danny Briones. I do. I do like a lot of people don't. I do like Danny Briones. I feel like she's misunderstood.
You know why I don't like Danny Briones? Because she don't remember her roots. Because she went to All
Ooh.
Stars talking about some. I want to take out the queen of Big Brother. Whole time you bought the bitch dress.
Street said that.
Street
Said
confirmed, baby.
so. Janelle wore a dress at the Big Brother 7 finale. It was black. It has ugly silver straps on it. The dress isn't even that pretty. It looks great on both of them, but the dress in general not that pretty. Janelle wore it. Apparently, it was put on eBay. Allegedly, I'm not trying to get sued. It was put on eBay. And Danny wore that exact same dress at the finale for Big Brother 8. And we see how it
was everyone's mother. So I understand you stand her, but to then go on All Stars and somehow in your deluded mind you thought taking out Janelle, who at this point flopped 3 times before, was going to get you some cool points. Like, girl, you wanted to be hated by America. You went against Rachel and Jeff and Jordan, and now you're going against fucking Janelle. She wants to be hated.
No, she ate up.
Girl, you can literally be an icon. We be wanting to stand you so bad. Oh, I did stand her in 13. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she ate that up.
But still, it's like you were not going to get cool points going after Janelle and working with Cody, mama.
And she thought she was.
I don't. Was Cody
she definitely didn't think that. She definitely didn't think that in 22. She knew she was not going to be liked. She should have. She definitely should have. Because she claims she's going in there and she's like, I'm not gonna try to play for my heart. I'm just gonna try to play to win and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, that she didn't stand Janelle when she bought that dress. That was envy. If you've seen Inside Out, that was envy. She was like, oh, I want that. And that envy lasted from Big Brother 7 all the way to Big Brother 22 when she was in the house with her and she stayed envious of Janelle. And it's very interesting because Danny's a very pretty girl. She shouldn't be envious of anybody. But the way she was acting was crazy.
She's an icon in her own right. Like she kind of smeared her own legacy the way she was acting in 22 with a lot of people.
Yeah, she definitely did. People were asking like who ruined their legacy the most. I would say she ruined her legacy the least because it was so big. People like Nicole A definitely because it's like it was so recent.
That just happened.
Yeah. So I think for Danny it's like she still has so much history with Big Brother that it's like, we'll get over it. Or at least I will. Next, we have, girl, Dan and Memphis. Me personally, I'm not gagging because they're called the Renegades, first of all. I'm not gagging because for me, in this season, when it came to who my faves were, it wasn't Memphis.
No.
Specifically.
And I absolutely love Dan. I love me some Dan, but Memphis really doesn't save the duo for me, especially because the duo was really only beneficial for Dan.
And it doesn't feel like a real duo. This is the first duo.
Dan wanted to make sure that Memphis was more disliked to him, and it was better to sit in the end with him by the end because they hated Memphis. Memphis was such a hothead. Well, he was a hothead in All Stars too. He was just a little bit more old with it. But back then, like he was going off on anybody. Like it was crazy. He got into arguments with damn near half the cast, and it's crazy that by the end, you're more hated than the man they was calling literally Judas, Mm-hmm. So I feel like, they worked together, but, like I said, Dan was kind of using him, no shade. But, it's cute. It seems like when two, like, alpha or, like, I don't want to say even alpha, but, like, bro-y people get to top final 2, it's like, oh, we're a duo. I don't know. It's just like people want to slap the word duo on everything. Because, like, girl, I guess they were a duo, but even while watching BB10, it didn't give duo, It gave you the two men working together.
Yeah, and they didn't even like you said, everything you said, they're not really a duo. I forgot they were even called the Renegades for the longest. It wasn't until Memphis came back and they brought it up that I remembered that was the name.
They wanted that to be a thing so bad. They were really promoting, oh my God, the lackey to Derek and Dan are playing the game because we couldn't afford Derek and Dan.
So yeah, it's like you said, it just didn't even feel like a real duo. They didn't come together until Keisha kind of brought them together in that alliance, and then it was circumstantial. It was more so.
Yeah, did they have beef?
It was more so they didn't really have like. No one really liked Dan, but it wasn't beef. It was just like they didn't really talk to each other, and then they were both lone wolves, and Keisha formed an alliance full of the lone wolves, her and Libra, and then they were a part of it because they were both lone wolves, and they kind of linked together, like you said, because Dan needed somebody to beat. No shade. Like it didn't feel like a real duo. I feel like he was using Jerry. He was using him the entire game, like even down to when Keisha got voted out. He used Memphis to vote out Keisha so he could like scrub his hands from it and say he wasn't a part of it. It's like he really just played in your face, used you the whole time, and then won and it beat you. It just didn't give duo. I think what helps is that they made Final Two, so that's iconic, and then they claimed this duo thing, so that's cool. But other than that, it's like when it comes to dynamic duos, you don't fit the cut. I would definitely. They're definitely above Eric and Jessica. I'm just wondering, are they camp because they made Final Two? They're definitely not camp to me.
Even when you think of Dan, you're not even necessarily thinking about.
You never think of Memphis.
You don't think about Memphis or the duo.
You never do.
I don't. I think of Dan and his legacy, especially coming back to 14, eating up again. So I'm fine with keeping it at mid.
Yeah, they're very separate in everyone's mind. Even when I think of Memphis, I don't think of Dan. I think of Christmas before I think
honestly
of Dan.
I don't think we should have put Memphis and Christmas on here.
So they could go right away.
That Memphis and Christmas got a divorce. I knew that wasn't gonna last long. Both of them crazy.
They're both crazy. A part of me thought it would last long in like a Joker Harley Quinn type of way. Like y'all are both insane.
She's crazier than him.
Literally.
I wonder if she hit him with her car after too.
Oh,
she a felon.
Oh my God! I saw that they had both got in a bar fight and they were both like beating people up.
I saw that.
That's crazy. They're just both very violent human beings, and they're very aggressive. I can't believe
they would let a felon.
I would be afraid to be in the house. I would be afraid to be in the house with them. Like either of them could murder me, might bring a gun in.
Honestly, Bailey and Devon wasn't thinking strategically that night because I would have went to production and complained. Y'all have a felon in this house making threats and making me uncomfortable. I want her gone by morning or I walk. We both walk. Me, David, and Kevin leaving.
Trust. Kevin and David was not.
They weren't.
Never doing that. Next we have our second showman, Jeff and Jordan.
Now I recently watched BB11.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Like within the last 2 years, basically. And Jeff and Jordan, for me personally, they were cute. I like Jordan way more than Jeff, honestly. I think that for the season they were in, BB11, which we were introduced to the duo, they were this underdog, and I really did like that. I root for any underdog, even though it was, Shima and Natalie and Jesse running the game. I actually really enjoyed them that season. I still root for the people at the bottom. It's always fun. Minus the racist ones. So basically all of them except Jordan. And she married one. So hey. I just think that that for me that just makes me down on them is when I watched 11, it's like the thing that really catapulted them to success was the coup d'etat. I hate the coup. And I feel like it was just randomly thrown in because America loved Jeff and Jordan. You could tell just from watching like the way Julie spoke about them. It's like you can just tell like the outward support for them. And then when you get to the finale, I mean that live audience, they are going insane. Like they love them, which of course it makes sense. But it's like to me, I just wasn't. I just never got the hype. I just never fully got the hype. And honestly, probably because I'm not white. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. But for me, I'm not gagging. But I can see how they are. The American sweet, like they're like Barbie and Ken. They're Barbie and Ken.
They are not my Barbie and Ken, but honestly, I agree with what you're saying. They're not gagging me, but when it comes to impacting Big Brother, the reason Big Brother started casting the way they started casting was to get another showman. They from the moment Jeff and Jordan stepped in that house and linked up the way they did, every season after that was getting the next Jeff and Jordan. Getting the next
reason why BB13 happened.
They're the reason BB13 happened. They're the reason that the cast started becoming pretty girls and pretty boys every fucking season. And they've been forcing this showman's narrative and shoving it down our throat all the way up until maybe BB23. And even still then, they would love a showman. They love a good showman. It's because of Jeff and Jordan. They caused an entire era of Big Brother, honestly. So when it comes to impact on Big Brother, they definitely have it. But when it comes to do I give a fuck? Absolutely not. One of them is racist and homophobic, and one of them is married to a racist homophobe. So what does that make them? So there's that. So can't go any higher than mid for me. I would personally
be keeping them at the top of mid.
I was gonna say the top of mid because of impact. It's like, girl, the impact is there. So there's that on that. Next, we have, and they came back as a duo. Similar to Janelle and Casey, like coming back as a duo. It's like, ooh.
Like, and then also, it's getting into it a little bit more. I mean, they are married now, and they have children.
They have kids. They're the first BB marriage. Well, I don't know if they were the first BB marriage, but they're one of the few BB marriages. They have kids now. When it comes to still being a duo, bitch, they're still a duo. Speaking of still a duo,
Rachel and Brendan.
My face.
Now, I actually live for Rachel and Brendan.
I love Rachel and Brendan. Rachel and Brendan. For sure. Like, I love
Brendan is really cute, too. And that's the thing. Maybe you got to watch Amazing Race. Because they argue a lot on Amazing Race. But you could just say they're so made for each other. Like, I understand why they're also still together with kids. Like, I think Rachel said she's the first BB baby.
Yeah, she is the first BB baby.
So it's like, I can see why they're still together. They're literally made for each other.
They are. I love them. I loved watching their love. It's such an unlikely love story, at least when you're watching it. But I loved watching their love story. We see them falling in love on the show, and it's great. Of course, we saw the same thing with Jeff and Jordan, but I wasn't gagged. But with them, it gagged me on BB12 when the house, and also like the house hated Rachel and Brendan. The house didn't hate Jeff and Jordan. They loved Jordan, actually. They really liked her a lot. She was just not in the majority alliance. They hated Rachel and Brendan. This was two people in the house, and this is like the first duo of these people on this list that this applies to. It's like two people in the house. They weren't in a good position. They didn't have like anything like the coup d'etat to help them get out of it. They were just hated, and they had to fight from week one. And then we get another duo like this later on with Jessica and Cody, but they had to fight from week one and win every competition to stay in that house. And then they both ended up making it to jury, and then they came back for 13. It's like the story is way more iconic, low-key, than some of these other showmances, because it's like they were hated, like literally by the entire house. And I just love their story. So I definitely think they're camp for sure. For me, yeah, they're definitely.
I agree. Like Rachel winning those back-to-back HOHs that season is so iconic. Like she literally won her way into the jury phase of that game, because they would not have let her get there if she did not win those competitions. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that she came back and then won the entire thing, also really iconic. She came back with her man, and he was protecting her ride or die throughout. Like I do love that about the marriages in the Big Brother universe, because when they're in that house, they are really ride or dies. Like you can say it's like a real love, a real relationship. Like they'll use veto on them. Yeah, bitch. Like it's just like, it's so cute. I don't know. And also it's cute to see them be kind of successful in the game, because it's like y'all are really dominating it together. Like it's so cute. But definitely camp. I feel like that fits for them.
For sure. Next we have reminder on the criteria. We just picked 26 of the most notable known. It doesn't have to be positive. Because next we have McCrane.
A chop.
Actually a racist. America. Woo! Not America. Amanda and McCrane. From Big Brother 15.
What's actually even more insane about this is that it's McCray bringing it lower for me. Unfortunately,
that's crazy.
Because when I'm thinking of Amanda MVP 15, like she was a terrible person. That's one. She was a terrible person, but she did run the fuck out of that season, and it was nastily how she ran it. But honestly, I never liked this show, Mr. McCray. I thought it looked so nasty. They looked terrible together. Honestly, it's such a nasty odd couple. Every time they would be like flirting, or like she would try to do something sexy for him, it just looks so nasty and awkward. Like I'm not surprised they broke up immediately after the show. And as far as duo in the game, I mean, she used McCray for everything he had, and McCray for himself, he was trying to use her too. But I mean, he was trying to use her, but I don't think there was ever going to be a chance that he was actually going to get her out or turn on her. Like I feel like they could have ended up in final two together, honestly, if someone like Andy was not playing self-interestedly. But just in general, like Amanda really carried this.
Yeah, it just wasn't
not likable in the slightest anymore.
It wasn't a dynamic duo. It just really wasn't. It was more so like similar to Dan and Memphis. When you think of Amanda, you don't have to think of McCray. You truly don't have to think of McCray. Amanda had an impact on that season on her own. They're both racist. So that's terrible. She said hella racist shit. McCray said hella racist shit, and then doubled down on it after the season on Twitter.
Girl, McCray's still weird. And that's the thing. One thing about Amanda, she's not weird today outwardly, because she's probably still weird.
She's just off Twitter. She's
right. McCray is proudly weird. And he's one of those weirdos, stoner weirdos that think, I mean,
he's like an incel. He's like an incel.
incel.
Very, very weird, very disgusting. In the game, though, like you said, Amanda, she did carry that game, but that's all. Next.
It's not getting them out of the racist here.
That would never. Derek and Cody Calafiore.
Another impact.
Another impact because when it comes to my fave, they're definitely not one of those for me. But when it comes to the impact, bitch, both of y'all won. And not noun of the duo. Now, noun of the duo can say the same. So that alone at least can't. But they both
basically the similar.
They made final two. First of all, they made final two together already. Then Cody came back and won on his own. It's like they ate it up.
Using basically the blueprint that they laid out in BB16. I mean, it was very similar game styles with the onion strategy. And yeah, I mean, they just ate it up. I mean, similar to I feel like Dan and Dr. Will set a precedence in the game of Big Brother. Like after BB16, everyone wanted to do the Derek strategy. I will say Cody, until he came back for All Stars, he was kind of seen as like really just the lackey. A lot of people just saw him as you made the dumbest decision by winning the final HOH and taking Derek. But even to this day, Cody defends that decision. Like he says, like, you know, he is happy he made that decision because he gained a lifelong friend. But look how God, the universe, whatever we want to call it, works. I mean, he chose friendship in that moment to temporarily, you know, be a loser, but then years later to go on and win. I feel like probably where it matters most. I mean, he was like, what, 21, 23 in that season? He came back older, more experienced, and probably in a position where he actually could do something useful with the money. And he still has a best friend in Derek. I mean, they run a podcast together, a successful one. So everything happens for a reason. And this is an example of it. I feel like definitely it also is just, I feel like, what am I trying to say? Like the whole idea of going to the end with your duo, being loyal to them, I feel like this kind of set that precedence as well. Like, like Matt and Jag were not trying to be Derek and Cody. They weren't trying to be Dr. Will and Mike anymore. They were trying to be Derek and Cody. And the reason why Jag was like, I have to take Matt, even though I may not be able to beat him, is because they wanted to be like Derek and Cody. When you think of Kylan in BB23, his whole thing about wanting to go to the end with Xavier is because he wants to be loyal. It's about sitting these two alphas, these two icons sitting next to each other in the final two. Like that's the storyline behind it. And Derek and Cody really kind of took the baton from Dr. Will and Mike and carried it on. I do think they have to be a mother off that alone.
I agree.
And I will say, I mean,
they both won. Shit. And they are mothers. Can't do anything about it.
I was just going to say, you know, we are taking into account how much we like them. I don't really hate either one of them that much, honestly. No shade. I know the girls love to trash Derek and Cody, but I don't really give a damn. So I'm fine with them being mother. And honestly, I think they should be above Janelle and Kaiser.
Me too.
I'm not going to dick ride that hard and put them number one, especially not with my mother. But they
and I still don't think, you know, for my personal ranking, they're not number one. But so I agree. I think they should be. We're exactly where they're at. They both won the season. For me, that kind of takes it all. And they're a real duo. No shade to Dan and Memphis. No shade to some of these other girls, but they're a real duo. They're still friends to this day. It's been fucking 10 years. This is a 10-year fucking lifelong friendship that actually is true and real.
They're brothers at this point, baby.
So it's like when it comes to a duo, see, and the dynamic is what's keeping them from top two. But when it comes to a duo, they definitely made it up there. Honestly,
the most dynamic thing about them is that they both won. That's nasty.
Now that is nasty. So that's a nasty dynamic. So boom, I'll give them that. Next we have
who?
Raj and Bowie. No, I'm playing. But we do have the first gay showmance. Now, it wasn't a gay showmance at the time, technically, but flirtmance. But it might as well just be the first gay showmance. The only gay showmance in Big Brother history, because Zach is confirmed come out of the closet. He is LGBT. Bisexual. Don't ask me what letter, because I'm not actually
I thought he was bisexual.
I thought he was too, but I'm not sure. Don't want to put that on somebody who might not.
That was kind of cute. So he basically came out and said that, you know, Frankie is the first person he's ever done, first man that he's ever done anything with, and that like, you know, after the show they got it on, you know. So would love to be a fly on the wall during that, but no, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my little gay ass, I was kind of tuned in, and honestly, it's because I mean they were gay and they were like laying on me. I mean, hey, like it was kind of, you know, but definitely not for looks at all, because Frankie. But
Oh,
Zach was kind of cute in situations.
Zach is cute, especially in this picture. He's really cute, and
Yeah,
he's
I
cute.
think as far as duo goes, Frankie took Zach out. But in general, like I didn't like either one of them too much during the season. I thought
Me
Frankie was
neither.
annoying as hell, and he's dumb as fuck for taking out Zach because Zach was always going to be loyal to him. And
I
as far
agree.
as Zach, he was way more focused on being a personality. I think he was fighting hard for America's favorite player, and he thought all of these like Fruit Loop
And didn't win
Vegas
it.
things and weird shit was going to get him to win, and it really didn't. It got him
Yeah,
top
it
three.
worked. It worked. America loved a
Yeah,
lot of people loved Zach.
I didn't get it. That's the one person I'm like, y'all love him. Like he seems really really annoying, and I think what
Yeah,
seemed annoying to me is that it felt like an
it was
act, and
forced.
it wasn't act. It was
It was
definitely very
all
forced,
forced, and none of
which
it
is
was
why he
real.
crashed out the way he did it because he was faking for like 60 goddamn days. So,
Yeah.
yeah, as duo goes, girl. I mean, shit, Chop. I mean, he literally took him out.
It's giving. It's honestly giving Chop for me. Yeah. No thoughts.
But honestly, Zanky, I wish set a precedence because what
Yeah.
I would love
What
to
could have been?
see a modern day gay showman. It's like I wish they
Oh,
would put
gay
gay
showman's
men,
period. Fuck Marta Day. There hasn't been one.
honestly, because
I
that's
would
not
love
even
to
a
see.
showman's.
I would love
But
to
I
see a
would
gay
just love to
showman.
see one, two people who are actually falling in love in a Big Brother house that are the same gender. That would be so cute. Whether it's two women, two men, anything. I want to see it. I wish they would do it. Like it's annoying because now that they're casting more LGBT, what they're doing is casting. They love to cast gay men who are married.
Married gay men, or they're casting people. They're all in relationships. Izzy was in a relationship. Michael was married.
Cast
Harsham was
single
married,
eligible
or
gay
whatever.
bachelors.
Okay.
It's like it's
I don't
almost
remember.
because they are not. It feels like, do you not want one?
They
I mean,
definitely don't
because
want one.
at some point, we're in BB 26. It doesn't make any sense that there are certain tropes that have not been in the
I
show.
think it would have to be an accident. It would have to be they cast a more a more masculine like gay person, and they don't expect them to
They don't
really
know their
dabble,
sexuality,
or they
basically.
are like Turner was bisexual,
With a
and it's like
girlfriend. But it's like
with a
it feels
girlfriend.
like you just want to get someone to say I'm this, but you
Yeah,
don't want to
exactly.
actually
A
see it play
quota.
out in the house. I would
So
love
it
to
would
see
have to
it
be an
actually
accident.
play out in the house, but like it seems like they don't want that. Especially now that we've gotten the BIPOC era, it's been a lot less showmances, which is a conversation in itself. But it's been a lot less showmances. It's like if you were to get more eligible queer people, it's like, well, you probably have more.
Yeah. Child, shaking my head. Would love it, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for our Raj and Bowie.
It's
Next,
not
we
Raj and
have
Bowie. It honestly needs to be Raj and Bowie, those exact archetypes.
literally. Next, we
I'm not
have
gagging.
Victor and Paul. Okay, boom. I'm definitely not gagging. I don't like Victor, at all. Don't understand why he was one America's favorite. Did he win? He
No,
did.
y'all. Pharaoh did
Don't
not like
understand why.
Victor. I don't know why. Every time I talk about Victor, because I
Girl.
vividly remember Victor being loved this season. Paul and Victor being loved. And every time I bring it up to Pharaoh, he would get confused. Like he just blocked it out of his mind that Victor was a fan favorite. I don't get it either, friend. I don't get
I
it.
refuse to believe it because it's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous. Victor getting rewarded for losing the baddest. Like he
Like
lost
5
the
times.
worst. You got evicted 3 times in the same season, brother. You're a terrible player. No shade. Him and Paul were a duo, but when it comes to Paul, and it's no shade, I definitely think they're real friends. But I think the issue with the duo of it all for me was I never knew Paul's true intentions. So when it came to the duo with Victor, I was like, well, Paul was a duo with Paulie earlier in the game. Paul is just not a viable duo partner because he's so outgoing and so all over the place. It's like you never really even know. I could have put Paul and Paulie here, and then you really probably wouldn't have batted an eye because Paul could be a duo with anybody, low key. And I think that's my issue with it all. It didn't feel like a duo to me. It felt like 2 people in the same position in the house, and they knew they needed each other, and then they moved forward.
It was funny because both times Victor came in, it's Paul like trying to catch him up. Okay,
Yeah,
this is who we're working with now. You
yeah,
have to say these things.
yeah.
It has to go this way. Like it was really
Take
funny.
this
Like
person out.
I think one thing about Paul, I really like them as a player in the Big Brother game. Like when I'm really analyzing the strategy of this game, which I've done recently in these last few years, like I just feel like you can really appreciate the type of game that Paul played. I mean, especially in 18, from this underdog position, he was outside of the fraternity alliance. He was kind of ostracized at first, but he really worked his way in that to where Paulie was copying Paul's haircut, the clothes they wore, all types of things. And then to get the final two was really impressive on their part. Like, we talk about Nicole kind of playing this duo thing. You know, Paul was really in that mix as well. And then we saw them go on to BB19 and do the exact same strategy with playing the duos against each other. So I think that they're a really intelligent player. But as far as the duo with Victor, it ain't giving that. Victor went home 9 times in one season. Yep. And now he's dating Nicole as a white man. So
if anything, Victor's new duo is Nicole.
Honestly, so let's rate them. What's Victor and Nicole?
Chop. Victor brings it down for me. Honestly. Victor gonna bring anybody down. It could be Victor.
Now, when we do that final two ranking, Nicole and Paul gonna be. I feel like Nicole and Paul. That's a nasty final two.
Now that'll be a gag. Oh, that'll be a gag. That was a good, nasty final two. Great season too. I can't wait to cover Big Brother 18. So, in 30 years from now,
2030.
Next we have another Jessica and Cody. So we know where they have to go.
Do we? Boom.
I do. So one of them is definitely.
Wait, I don't think Cody. Let me stop. He just no.
Well, you know what? Because they might not. Maybe they.
No.
See, okay, so we can definitely get into it. Let's get into it because maybe that's not the final result.
I mean, I just want to say
because I don't think either of them are technically
based off during BB19 is what I'm talking about right now. Because trust me, I don't agree with shit else. But BB19, love Jessica and Cody. I'm sorry, I was a fan. Lord. It was the only opposition we had to Paul. You mean to tell me the entire house was against two people? And they
similar to Rachel and Brendan.
Similar to Rachel and Brendan. And one still made it in the jury phase of the game. And one, Jessica got out right before the jury phase. They made it like 6
half of the season.
While the entire house was against him. They were the story arc for that entire first half. Like it was such a huge shift when Cody left because it's like, well, we've been worried about Cody and Jessica for the last 10 weeks, damn near. I mean, literally, Cody goes home, wins his way back in. Jessica wins that HOH. I mean,
it was a story, bitch. We hadn't seen anything like it since Rachel and Brendan, and even it was more iconic than Rachel and Brendan. The way, and love Rachel, but the way that Jessica bad bitches, it's very hard to achieve that level. It's rare when a girl can do it. Just Janelle maybe could do it. You know, sometimes,
it's the energy.
But it's the energy, and Jessica, the energy Jessica gives, and even Cody, it's a I don't give a fuck energy. And they really killed that energy, and I loved it. The only thing bringing me, because I will say, I don't think they're racist. Yeah. They're just not on my same political spectrum, and they say homophobic things, and she's married a homophobe. So there's a transphobe. So there's that. They're definitely bigots in that regard. But like you said, the story they had, the impact they had, if they weren't those negative things outside of kind of like the realm of the game, they would literally be camp for me. They would be right there with Rachel and Brendan because of the storyline of what happened in Big Brother. But that is really bringing them down. But a part of me wants to kind of put them in child. I'm not going to lie, just because the storyline they gave for me, it did. But also, y'all are bigots.
I feel like judging the BB19 storyline, I'm fine with child.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Either child or I'm gonna put them in child because child's empty. They're terrible people. It's crazy because
move down because they're terrible people.
Is it? And you know, and they might need to be chopped.
Okay.
And honestly,
this is a hard one. Bottom of chop.
They might need to be bottom of chop. See, and this is the issue. And this is
what I don't think they fit the racist here. Like I said, you said I haven't seen.
Like I don't think they're actually racist. I don't think they're racist. They just everything else. And this is the issue. Like basically what we're saying, or at least what I'm saying, is these could be damn near mothers, but because of all of those other things, calling this man fat, telling him he walks around with a sloppy ass body, all of these other things, like y'all are also very bad people. And that's what people would say about BB19. They'd be like, they don't even they can't even stand Jessica and Cody because they're also terrible fucking people. He's walking around being transphobic on the feeds. They're walking around being fat phobic to Josh. It's like y'all just terrible people. So it's like the story and with the impact and what y'all could have did, you could have ate.
Right. Because literally in that season, in the beginning, before Paul kind of came in and started taking over, they were running it. And, you know, while running it, you can kind of see how these are going to be those bitches, these cool kids who think they run everything, and they're probably going to be bitches the entire season. But when Paul kind of came in, they became the underdogs. And similar to, I think, honestly, it's similar to Jeff and Jordan. It's very similar to Jeff and Jordan. When they're in the majority, it's like, oh, you're kind of an asshole and you say weird things. But when they're in the minority, it's like, oh, y'all are iconic. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna say what you want. You're gonna do what you want. You're gonna win HOH and you know, well, take out the closest ally, but you're gonna win HOH, and that's gonna gag alive. I mean, and then everyone remembers where they were when Julie said, "Well, Jessica, how you doing tonight?" Well, I'm just happy that America gave me a power so I can, me and Cody can stay in the house for a few more weeks. I mean, it was so iconic.
See, look, I think it might have to be Child because well, let me say what I was gonna say. I think it is comparable to Jeff and Jordan, and it's like Jeff is a transphobe racist as well. So it's like, shit, if we put them
honestly, Jeff and Jordan should have been a racist tier more.
They need to be. If anything, we need to just put them all in the racist tier.
And that's the thing. It comes.
It's
down
hard
because
the
what
impact.
People pass on what other people don't. Like Cody isn't as huge in the community as Jeff is. So
that's true.
It's easier for people to call out Cody than it is for Jeff and Jordan because they were bigged up so much by production.
And the impact they had is way.
And I'm fine where they at. So
I ain't gonna move because I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because they don't have any impact for real.
Yeah, they don't have no impact. Nobody cares. Like they didn't create a new era of Big Brother the way Jeff and Jordan is. It's almost undeniable with Jeff and Jordan. You kind of have to acknowledge them. Jordy, it's enough for me. So boom, chop. Next we have. That was loud. Next we have
another chop.
I'm not gagging.
I'm not gagging.
So y'all, when I looked up, hold on, because when I looked up. When I was all I did for all of these pictures that I got on the screen was type in their two names and Big Brother. For every person, it just popped up damn near the first image was these images that I have here. With Casey and Tyler, you would think because they're the final two, it would be easy to find. Bitch, I had to scroll down the entire face to find this picture. They were never together in that house. They were never really working together in that house. It was not, and they're called Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast.
I forgot it.
Ass name.
It wasn't really a narrative in the storyline at all. That
it wasn't a storyline.
Tyler was more of a duo with JC. He was more of a duo with Angela. He was more of a duo with Bailey, and they beat.
Honestly,
girl, like you damn near collect anybody else, and he'd be more of a duo. And it's like.
This is an example of people just want to slap the word duo on anything. Like literally, when they got the final two and said that they were a duo, I was shocked, genuinely shocked. I kept up with the live feeds. I had listened to Terrence at that time. I'm like, I don't recall them saying they were a final two ever. And if they were like a legitimate one, it would have been nasty. I mean, this would have been more secret than the secret duo, Danielle and Jason. But they weren't a duo. Yeah, Tyler was doing everything on his own. Casey wasn't doing anything. But I guess talking to people. Yeah. Like it was not a duo at all. The storyline of the season was Tyler running everything, and he lost to someone who low-key didn't deserve it. People will say bitter jury. I think calling this jury bitter, I mean,
I don't really care. At this point, I don't care no more. Call it what you want to call it. He lost. And that's and the thing about this duo, I feel, is it's similar to Dan and Memphis in the fact that I feel like it didn't exist. But what's worse is the best player didn't even win. Like Tyler lost. So a part of me, I hate to say, if Tyler would have won, I probably want to put it in mid. Because Tyler lost, I kind of want to put it in Child. Y'all weren't really a duo. Tyler didn't even win. Casey didn't do shit. Y'all didn't work in tandem. Tyler worked with a whole group of other people. And then it would have probably been more of a duo if Casey had came back for All Stars and they worked together there, but she didn't. So it's like there's no continuation of the quotations duo that it is. And I just think everyone above them on this list, you could actually call them a duo in some form. With Tyler and Casey, I just don't see it. To me, it's a Child.
I'm fine with that. The only thing bringing it out of the top is that they were in Final Two.
Yeah. Child because of Final Two. Other than that, duo where?
Well, I feel like at this point, he could have got the Final Two with Brent. They would have been like, oh, East to West. like it was so random.
He was truly just not a duo with her like
someone
that.
Tell me, when y'all watched BB20, did y'all catch any conversation of Coast to Coast before Final Two? Final Two was the first time I heard of it. And if not on some...
Like I said, I couldn't find no pictures of them together. Did they ever talk? He talked to Sam more, JC more, Haley and them more. He talked to everybody in that house more than he talked to Casey. Dead ass.
Well, they're a secret alliance.
They were not a secret alliance, girl. I guess they were. They didn't brand it.
Girl, please.
Let me stop. Next. Girl.
Oh, 3 shots in a row.
Tommy and Chris.
They said racist stuff?
Probably. You know what season they was in. That's the thing with both of these people. Well, not both of these, but with them, I don't know what they said, but the season was racist. So they're starting off there, and we're gonna talk it out. Let's see what we feel. When it comes to Tommy and Christy, both phenomenal players. I hate to say it. Of course, I'm not talking about who they are as people and their character. Phenomenal players, though. Really, both of them. They didn't make it far enough in the game for me to really put them high on this list. They kind of got sixth, fifth place, both of them. They were on BB21. So that was a dud. Christy had a very strong impact on the game. Strategically, Tommy had an extremely strong impact on the game. Socially, they really, really could have made it to Final Two if the end game went a little differently with those three duos at the end of the end game. I love those seasons like BB18 and like this one where it ends up with like three different duos being at the end of the season. That's very interesting. I think what sets them apart is that they knew each other before the game. The only other duo who knew each other before the game here is Dick and Danielle. And I think that really kind of sets them apart as a duo. It makes them more of a duo, I feel. So I do like that. But them as people don't like. The gameplay was good, but they didn't make it farther enough for me. I don't know if they're that word that I just put them next to, but I also don't care enough to research if they are.
Well, I was going to say truly. I'm fine with Child, only because I mean, when I watched the beginning of the season, I didn't hate Christy too much. Tommy, I will say Tommy is very annoying, very annoying. So maybe in Chop.
Yeah, I'm okay with Chop. Honestly, I am okay with Chop. I just have I almost don't have any feelings, even negative.
Yeah, we needed filler duos to talk about.
we tried to gather 26. We could have talked about some others, but they were like they knew each other. They know each other.
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, Tommy Ride or Die and Annalise because they was on the challenge Ride or Die together.
I just think Christy wasn't invited. They know each other. Yeah, I mean, I just have I don't care where they go. Truly. Truly, I feel like I respect what Zanky is and what Paul and Victor is more than them, even so, because I just don't have nothing.
I'm fine with it. Let's go.
Next, Nicole, and honestly, for some reason, this season has a lot of duos. I'm sorry, y'all. Nicole and Cliff. This one, at least, they're not terrible people. But I'm also still not. Because of the season they were on, it makes their duo less appealing to me. Mm-hmm. I'm not super gagged, but how you feeling?
I mean, I really like Nicole and Cliff this season. Like, because their season was so terrible, like the opposition, this cool kid group of the grateful and the
undeniable.
Like, Nicole and Cliff was a really good opposition to that. I mean, it was unfortunate that literally all of the other PLC of the minority got taken out back to back to back. But even Cliff wasn't eliminated. But when Cliff came back and then won that HOH, like that was so nasty. And I think them together as a duo, they really took advantage of the game when Mickey flipped from the Big Showman's alliance. Like they were able to really maintain relationships when the house kind of failed. And they were able to do that because I think that they were also maintaining good relationships even when they were in the minority. And me personally, I did like them a lot, but mainly because I hated everyone else. Cliff, I could live without Cliff, but genuinely in BB21, I enjoyed Nicole Anthony a lot from the things I did watch on that season. And the fact that they made it all the way to top 4, I think is impressive on both of them because it wouldn't have seen that was possible at the beginning of that season. And me like watching from a distance, I was really rooting for this duo to take it. I really was. I'm fine with keeping them in mid, but I thought it was a formidable duo.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with a lot you said. I feel like they're likable. Nicole A won America's Favorite. They both made it to top 4, and they kind of like played from a position. Yeah, from a position from the bottom, and then they had to kind of flip and start playing from the top in this new alliance. I like it. I'd put them at the top of mid, honestly.
I was fine with them when I saw Jeff and Jordan, so maybe under Jeff and Jordan.
That's fine. Honestly, they can stay where they at. I don't give a fuck. I hate to say it. And when it comes to BB21, y'all,
I agree.
I don't care.
I don't care for Jeff and Jordan, but I feel like I don't love Cliff and Nicole enough to like put them above.
I'm not gagging.
I'm not gagging.
And the impact they had is just so minuscule. I feel like it's in the bubble of 21. If you're not gonna talk about 21, unless you're talking about 21, including Nicole and Clip. Like, no one thinks about them until you are forced to think about BB21. Truly, no shade. It's not like they're this iconic duo that you just talk about on the daily. You don't. So it's like, next is Jackson and Holly.
I just realized this is the entire top 6 of BB21.
Yeah, great dynamic top 6. I will give them that. Now this,
now this got to go in that tier. I feel
it does. It's going above Amanda and McCrae because they're terrible. At least Holly's not
Holly because Holly don't deserve.
Holly's not that bad. She don't.
Oh, also Amanda were both terrible people.
Also, they're broken the fuck up. They don't date anymore. They don't date anymore. Holly don't even fuck with him. She doesn't like him. Jackson's a terrible person. In the house, he was a terrible person to her. He would like degrade her, talk to her very condescendingly the whole time.
That was scary.
Kind of tell her what to do. It was getting very scary. She didn't seem comfortable with it like that. Low key, I felt like she was low key just using him for the game a little bit, and then they broke up right after. So it was like, girl, you low key ate that up. But they made Final Two. That was a part of the reason I wanted to put them on the list. They made Final Two. I kind of wanted to put Tommy and Chrissy because they knew each other beforehand. So it's like, they were kind of on the list circumstantially. So that's cute. But other than that, racist tier for me.
Yeah.
Via Jackson.
Nothing
no shade to Holly.
I definitely based off of that, like I feel like they added to the idea of like, okay, these showmasters are really dangerous. You don't want these showmasters to get into the jury phase and they go back to back like a Holly and a Mickey. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, just like I feel like they kind of just also Mickey specifically added to the whole idea of like, this alpha guy who's winning all of these competitions and just making it to the end and winning based off of that. I mean, yeah, same. I have no thoughts. I didn't really like the final two. I was hoping that Holly somehow could have won, but I know that wasn't gonna happen. So definitely our words here. It's where they belong. And I think he still is. Every time I see like an updated video of him, he seems like he's also snorting away the money. So
definitely. 100%. Next we have, like I said, if they made Final Two and they claim to be a duo, they make the list. So we have Enzo and Cody. Now we know Cody is the only person who's on this list twice. We know his real duo is with Derek, and that's what diminishes this duo down by a lot. This is not Cody's real duo. It's kind of Cody's stand-in duo.
He needed his Cody.
He needed his Cody.
I'm sad that Enzo's is somebody Cody twice. Like, Enzo, stand up. When are you going to be the Derek?
He wasn't even a Cody the first time. He was just the Enzo because he didn't get second. Yeah, because he didn't even get second. Lane was the Cody. But yeah, I mean, this to me, this is a stand-in duo. It's called The Root, if you forgot. It's a standard duo. Cody and Enzo, they just were a duo for the season of Big Brother 22. Very iconic in the sense that neither of them got nominated the entire season and made Final Two. Clock that T. Very, very, very iconic for that. And then of course the performance alone was just very dominant. But other than the dominantness of it all, it's a child for me. You're not even really a duo.
I'm fine with that. Above
it's
Tyler
child. Above Tyler and Casey, trust.
The only good quality is that they made Final Two. And as far as like liking them throughout the season, wasn't a huge fan of either of them. Enzo is one of those players where it's like, I don't like, especially Enzo specifically, because he's one of those players that's like mainly social and doesn't fully enact too many of his own ideas. But he's also the type of person that talks a lot of shit. So all season he kept saying how like, oh, I don't like this, yo. I don't like they're doing this, yo. Oh, I'm gonna protect Davon and Bailey, yo. We gotta start working with Davon and Bailey. All this other shit, or just like wanting to do his own thing, and then Cody would be like, no, and he'd be like, all right. Like he always just reverted back to whatever the fuck Cody wanted.
Child. Next we have
oh wait, I'm sorry. It's funny because we put him in child next to Tyler and Casey was almost all-stars with Tyler.
Yeah.
That would have been nasty.
That would have been fun.
They have still been a duo in Final Two if Tyler and Casey was there. Now, how nasty would that have been? Because
that would have been so fun to see, though.
Tyler and Casey probably could have made Final Two again.
They really could have made a deep run again because I do think the
competitions alone.
I do think one of them maybe could have got cut because Cody was winning damn near everything. I will say, like Tyler wasn't keeping up the way he was. He should have been.
Casey there,
but Casey's there,
and they got. Well, I don't know if Josh was going to be able to help too much, but still.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been very. That would have been way better season.
What All Stars 3, All Stars 2 could have been.
We have some mothers on the list, girl.
Oh,
we'll start them off there. Davon and Bailey, Bay Day / BGM / Black Girl Magic / the Queens. These my queens, these my girls.
Pharaoh.
Now, when we talk about are the duos still duos to this day?
They don't even follow each other.
We have to talk about the fact that we don't know their standing, but they don't follow each other currently. We haven't seen them together since the season. But in the season, when I tell you this tickled my little gay black heart, because we didn't have we've never had a season where there was two black women who worked together in the way that they worked together. They were #each other's final two. Why did I say hashtag? Don't know. They were each other's final two.
Untouchable, bitch.
They were each other's untouchables. It was nothing separating them. Their journey was so tied together, including their evictions, being nominated together, and all of that. Very dark side. Notice I didn't use that picture. That was the picture that showed up. I had to dig to find this. I knew this existed. I was like, you need to. I need to get a picture of them looking good. But so I will say, I want them. They are my mothers individually, but when it comes out,
mother.
Let me finish.
This is our list.
It is our list. So let me finish because I'm part of the list. They are my mothers individually, but for me, when it comes to them being dynamic duos and them not being a duo anymore, I would have put them at the top of camp. But Lisa ain't their mother. But where am I?
No, I see what you're saying, honestly.
Because it's like they don't even talk.
I'm fine with them being in the camp after Nicole and Hardy. But as far as like but that's the thing. If I'm going based off a duo I like, that's what I'm saying.
Like this is my dynamic
and I think that
duo.
takes precedence here. Like I feel like I include how I feel on an equal amount to like impact and just the dynamicness of a duo. But sometimes I got to put my foot down. The likeness, I put my foot down. This is
also the impact that they had on black people, me in general, it's really big. So it would only ever be camp or mother. It's never going below that. If they are a mother, where do you feel like they should go?
I'm fine with keeping them at the end.
At the end,
because this is mainly because of me.
Because for me, it was either the beginning of camp or the end of my. If I was going to put them in camp, they weren't going below Nicole and Hardy. Trust, they were going at the top. So this is fine with me.
You can say this is biased. I don't give a damn.
This is fine with me. Next, we have two other block queens. Why do they keep putting them on the block? Hannah and Tiffany, our cookout
not
queen,
the vendetta,
the mother, the teacher and the student, whatever you want to call them, my sisters, my queens. Hannah and Tiffany,
name girl, the
vendetta. Hannah and Tiffany, when it comes to that season, Big Brother 23, I will say I don't necessarily immediately think of them as a duo. They're a part of the cookout. The cookout outshines a lot of stuff that happens in that season. So it's more so the cookout, and then within the cookout, of course, we have my two queens, the vendetta, Hannah and Tiffany, the final two. I love the relationship they build. I love how it became this kind of mentor-mentee situation where Tiffany's kind of teaching her how to play the game and stuff. For me, like I said with Davon and Bailey, it's either camp or mother. It's not changing from any of those. But when it comes to thinking about it as a duo, we said it about these other people. When you think of Tiffany, you don't have to think of Hannah, and it's no shade. And when you think of Hannah, you don't have to think of Tiffany. So for that, it's like it might just be camp.
So that's what I'm saying. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, maybe we do need to move Davon and Bailey to camp. Because I feel like based off duo-ness, I feel like the vendetta has to be above Davon and Bailey, and I think both of them should be moved to camp.
Okay, so I agree.
Because
so maybe
that's the big thing. It's like as far as a duo, Davon and Bailey weren't that successful as a duo.
Exactly.
The dynamic just wasn't there, and I do think Tiffany and Hannah was dynamic, but it's like there's so many other stories that overarch it. The cookout, Tiffany on her own, So I definitely see that, but I would like to see them come back again.
I would love to see them play again.
It would be a real duo.
They're a duo that if it's a second chance season or if it's a half and half season or something, they could both be invited back, and then they could be like a duo that really stamps themselves because they played multiple times together. That would be iconic. So yeah, I have them where I have them. How you feeling?
I mean, I said at the top, but if you find one right there, it's cool.
I'm definitely fine with right there for sure. Just because I'm thinking about MCAP, like Brenchel, you're not touching that. No shade.
Yeah.
No shade. And some people don't even know. Some people don't even know. Next we're getting to the newer seasons, girlies. Michael and Brittany. This is an interesting one. This is one where I feel like it doesn't get talked about a lot because of the of course what happened that season, and of course Taylor Hale is that season. We don't really care about other people, but I personally don't necessarily hate Michael and Brittany, and I don't hate them as a duo. I thought they were a pretty interesting duo. They did work with my girl Taylor, so I don't have no beef with them.
Right.
I think they're one that I feel like Michael was so impressive when it came to the strategy, and Brittany was so cracked that they kind of work together. Like their energy together really works, because like Michael's this big huge thing, and then Brittany's this very cracked queen, and then it's like you put them together and it's kind of an iconic duo when you put them together, honestly. But when it comes to the overarching of big brother duos, no one's necessarily gagged about Michael and Brittany.
And I think similar to how Dan used Memphis, Michael was slightly using Brittany in a way. He knew he could beat Brittany. He knew people didn't like Brittany. And that's why at the double eviction, he threw her under the bus nasty.
Yes!
Picked up the bus and slammed it on her ass. Brittany was looking gagged at that double eviction. It was so crazy. But them as a duo, definitely, I think that they for sure are, especially within the season, because they gravitated towards each other really early on. They were stuck together because of the Festy Bestie twist, and even after that, everyone saw them as a package deal. They were, which is why they were nominated together in that double eviction. I mean, you're right. Definitely. I don't think anyone is going to recall Michael and Brittany. I think if there is like a returnee season, both their names will be in contention, and they probably work together again, which is interesting. I also like both of them as archetypes in the game. Like I said a lot during BB24, you don't see people like Brittany, especially do well in this game. So the fact that she made it all the way to Final Four, especially basically in due part to Michael being there and being her ride or die, it was fun to see. It was fun to see the different type of characters make it to the end and play well. Because Brittany, even though she was cracked, she did a lot of good things for herself. Most were kind of, but she did a lot of good things for herself. So I love seeing her energy in the game. I'm fine with keeping them in mid because I actually did enjoy them as a duo. I'd probably put them. I don't know. I
would keep them where they're at in mid. Me personally,
I would put them above Cliff and Nicole.
You just like them. I like them, but I think I like them better than Cliff and Nicole. Than the Cliff and Nicole.
I like them. I don't know. I don't really know Eric and Jessica like that, and I don't like Dan and Memphis together like that. So I would low key put them after Jeff and Jordan, but I definitely think they should be above Nicole and Cliff.
I'm fine with that because I don't care about Nicole and Cliff. So that's fine with me.
That's the issue. We be fucking each other up because I want to move some of these people around, and you.
Me too. I was gonna say I want to move some of these because me personally, I would rather Michael and Brittany and Cliff and Nicole be above like Dan and Memphis, but I feel like Jessica and Eric should be above them as well. But it's hard because Dan won. Bitch, I don't even know, and I think that's the issue. Yeah. I don't even know.
They all mid. That's what counts.
Okay, boom. Next we have. Oh, we made it to Big Brother 25.
Girl, we're here.
America and Corey.
Corey, Comerica. The girls really didn't like Comerica. I'm sorry. I was a slight Corey fan.
I wasn't that guy.
I was here for the show, man. I thought they were cute. As far as personality-wise, I actually enjoyed Corey and America's separate personality. And so them coming together was fun. I liked them as players in the game. They were really scrappy players, and they were going against this, Cerie power structure. And both of them together really helped flip the entire game against Cerie in this power structure. Mm-hmm. Now, did either one of them take the game after that? No. But just in general, I thought they were really, really just both of them aware players. They knew their place within the season. I know America, she would clock a lot of things about certain alliances and certain relationships and things like that. And Corey, he would gather information and he knew to use it at the correct moments. As far as impact as a duo, the season just happened, but they had a lot of stands. I mean, the AmeriCorey fan base is huge, and then also they're very polarizing. I mean, whether you hate them or like them, y'all can't stop talking about them.
No, you got an opinion
because I like them, and I'm not even on a dick like that no more. I don't be caring, but like the girl America say something, they get on Twitter going off. So I feel like I would definitely keep them in mid.
For me,
I'll put them after actually Jeff and Jordan. I'm not even gonna lie.
For me, I'm fine with that. They're the modern Eric and Jessica. I already said it. They're literally Eric and Jessica. Eric is a very strategic, smart, kind of nerdy boy, and so is Corey. And then Jessica is a pretty, very smart, girl who ended up linking up, they're literally the same. I would definitely put them next to each other. I would probably put Corey and America above Eric and Jessica just because recency bias. If you're an Eric fan, you'll probably put them above. This just comes to our preference, I feel. And honestly, I would put them all. I would put Corey and America under Jeff and Jordan, but it would make me want to put Jessica and Erica right next to them, and Dan and Memphis can be right after them because they're not a real duo to me. No shade. Yeah. So it's giving them.
And as far as like a duo, I actually like I because it's been a minute.
Yes,
we talked about some other than the Vendetta and Bailey and Bailey and Davon. But I actually like Corey and America. I was rooting for them. I wanted them to succeed in the game, especially in the end game. So
I agree. Next we have two more duos. Who we should leave them for last. Next we have the Minutemen.
Mother.
Absolutely not. I don't give a. I'm not gagged by the Minutemen.
But
I'm not gagged by Jag. I'm not gagged by.
So if we're looking at this list of like these modern day, especially duos who made Pharaoh 2, like Coast to Coast, what is that? The Root, what is that for real? I mean, you know, even in the tier they're currently in mid with Dan and Memphis. I mean, sure, but I feel like Matt and Jag were really a dynamic duo. I mean, Matt literally saved Jag's game in his life. Jag would have stayed evicted in week 4 if it wasn't for Matt using his power. And keeping him in the game, I mean, it led them to a point in the house where they were both the only two people who were able to win competitions. And that part is actually really boring. So I was definitely joking when I initially said Mother. But, and I hated Matt throughout the season, but I did love me some Jag. Yeah, I did love me some Jag. And him using Matt all the way to Final 2 is what helped him win. So I'm a little biased, but I'm fine with where they at or Top of Child, honestly. I'm definitely fine with it. I get a lot of people don't like them, and I don't like Matt. But as far as duo, especially a duo that makes Final 2, I think that they are two of the better players in their season, and it makes sense that they're sitting in Final 2.
Yeah. Honestly, me personally, I don't like Matt at all. And Jag, I do like Jag, but I'm not a Jag stan. But I do agree when it comes to a duo and them making Final 2. When we talk about all the duos that made Final 2, other than Racist Jackson and Holly, they're all like when it comes to them actually working together, they're all in camp or Mother. Like Allison and June, they actually work together. Cody and Derek, they actually work together. Danny and Dick, they actually work together. Matt and Jack are the only other duo who made Final 2 that, in my opinion, actually worked as a duo. And it was more so, we're loyal to each other. We're going to take each other. And even though Jack was using Matt, it wasn't the same way that Dan was using Memphis. It was very much so, I actually am friends with Matt. And me and Matt need to make it to the end. And I don't even know if he was sure he would beat Matt in the end. He still took him. It was more so a real duo. So I
be mad. I don't care.
I personally would put them above Dan and Memphis because when it comes to them being a duo, I feel like their impact as a Final 2 as a duo is just more real than I feel like we said, we don't have to think of Dan and Memphis together. With Jag and Matt, I mean, people don't think about them much, but I also don't feel like they have to separate them because they don't think about them. I think Jag and Matt are more of a duo because the way it happened. Like Matt literally saved his life. Jag literally took him to Final 2, even though he could have lost. I think their games are intertwined so much more than a lot of these other, than honestly Coast to Coast and the Root and the Renegades. Their games are way more lean on each other based. So that's why I would put them there. Not high, just mid. Last and not least.
Well, one of them maybe.
But one of them maybe. Sari, who is a mother, and Jared, who is a chop. So, maybe I mean, just saying that alone kind of tells you where they might fall. This is difficult.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it sets precedence because they knew each other coming in, similar to Dick and Danielle and Tommy and Christy.
Yep, I agree.
I said Dick and Danielle. Oh, that's their name. Yeah,
that's their name.
Hello? I don't know why. I was like,
the Donatos and Tommy and Christy. They knew each other going in, and as a duo, we continuously talk about working together. They didn't, and it was because of Jared kind of not really leaning on her the correct way, and they tried to divide and conquer, but they didn't really succeed. And then their time kind of got cut short because Jared got chopped, and then Sari kind of got chopped, and it was like it's just such a messy duo situation that they were in. But the beginning, at least, it really was. And another thing, Sari was kind of more of a duo with Izzy. At the beginning. Like the way she worked with Jared really was not effective, because when Izzy went home and she tried to work with Jared, it just really wasn't clicking. It wasn't going together.
Listen to anything she said.
He didn't listen. So honestly, for me, because of Jared, I think he really brings it down for me, and I don't feel like them as a duo within the game of Big Brother is anything memorable. I remember Cirie has her own entity and this weight that's holding her down. And it's not even no shade. It's like almost Cirie in a ball of chain. So for me, it's like Chow for me.
I agree. No, 100%. I love Cirie. I love her so much. There were definitely some things in the season I was like, hold on now, girl. But in general, I still love her. I think her legacy overall as a player in these type of games didn't go away because of the placement she got. But as far as duo, which is what we're rating here, no, I didn't like Jared at all. He said a lot of weird things. He did a lot of weird things. I was happy to see him go home. I hated that Cirie's entire game was attached to him doing well, because once he stopped doing well and eventually went home, she was also over it. And I feel like the light dimmed because she had already not wanted to be there. You know, we learned after the season that it was Jared who kind of contacted CBS and was like, hey, my mom's Cirie. And they was like, oh shit, let's do this. Yeah. You know, so it's like she really only went because of Jared, and that was very evident in a lot of the things that she did within the game. But yeah, I mean, overall, he was definitely a way bigger crutch than ally or asset, especially as a duo, because when they could actually work together as a duo, like we said, he didn't listen to shit she said, which caused him to go home next. So,
Child. So that was the last one. This is 26. So for Big Brother 26, we have ranked our 26 dynamic duos. How are you feeling? Because y'all, this was actually difficult. This is the most difficult ranking I've had. I'm not gonna lie. It's just so much to consider.
Especially because, like, once again, we really are not going based off of what we like. If we were going based off who we liked, all of these would be in top racist, not even child.
Except Bailey and Davon and Tiffany and Hannah, they would be literally mothers right next to Danielle. All the black people would be in the top tier, and everybody else would be top. Truly.
Yeah. And as far as like who I like and who I dislike, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the season. A lot of these people I actually did like within their season. And then certain people, it's like I can't deny their impact. Like, we're doing a dynamic duo rating. I can't not put Derek and Cody in Mother. I mean, what their impact is as a dynamic duo. So it was just a lot of factors. I feel like anytime we're doing like a rating or a ranking, we factor in so many things. It's never going to just be one thing. It's not going to just be his opinion, my opinion, who we like. It's going to be so many different factors. And I feel like it ends up with a list that's interesting.
Pretty interesting. Honestly, the last one at first, I was like, ooh, what did we do last when we ranked the American Favorite Player? I was like, but honestly, now that I go back and look at it, I love the American Favorite Player list. I think it's very true to how we feel when we consider everything we were thinking of, the impact, for also how iconic they are.
And when I look at this feels right. Like, do I personally just love certain people who are in that spot? But no, I only really love Devon.
Four different groups:
Tiffany, Hannah, and Danielle.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only mothers I'm seeing. But if I'm trying to give a real objective list, I feel right with this. This feels right with this.
I really fuck with this. Now, y'all coming because I know y'all have a lot of thoughts.
I know y'all got some opinions, mama.
Just let us know. Dick and Danielle would have been top. I get it. I know how y'all feel. So however y'all feel, y'all feel how y'all feel because y'all feel how y'all feel because y'all feel how y'all feel. Who do y'all feel like should have been in a different category? Pick 3 people in Mother you felt like should have been in Chop. Whatever you feeling. Who do you feel like was in Chop when you was like, I don't know, when we were talking about Jessica and Cody? Would you have just put them in Child? Would you have just put them in Racist? Where would you have put these girlies? Let us know in the comments. I know y'all will.
And
So
we
just
love
let
what
us
y'all
know.
do, low key. It's funny.
And we love it. It is fun to talk about and look and read at. So let us know how y'all feel. Let us know if there was any duos y'all are like, why the fuck y'all didn't put these people in here? And we'll see what you say. Because there was some we was thinking about. We was like, is it given we need to put them? No, so let us know which duos y'all wish we could have put in here. Let us know which duos we could have left off, because we know we could have left some off for sure. Because I'm not gagging. But boom. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like we said, Big Brother's coming up soon. We will be here all Big Brother season, every BBT Tuesdays for our live feed recaps and rating the players, Thursdays for the Thursday eviction recap, breaking down the eviction, and then for our occasionally recaps, at random times throughout the season. Definitely get into that as well. And we're also covering other stuff: RuPaul's Drag Race, Total Drama Island, Claim to Fame, The Mole. So get into all of our other coverage as well. And thank you for keeping it real with the Kingdom, girl. We're out.